In the fourth episode of our Atlanta Child Murder series, we will be discussing the stories of Eric Middlebrook and Aaron Wyche. Let's begin. Now, as we begin our fourth episode of this series, let's note some important disclaimers. Now, these events occurred some 40 years ago, thus information concerning these cases are very limited. It is also important to note that Wayne Williams has in fact been convicted of 2 of the 29 murders, and the ATL police and FBI have determined the remaining cases to be quote-unquote closed as of the final conviction of Wayne Williams. Viewer discretion is advised as these stories are quite disturbing. And please keep in mind the purpose of this series. It is to maintain continued awareness of these crimes and also to help aid in the solving of at least some of these murders, as many of these victims were under the age of 10 and were so decomposed that the causes of death have never been uncovered. And finally, the state of Georgia has recently opened these cases and is currently using newfound technology, including DNA testing and other means of forensic science in aiding the reinvestigations into these cases. Now let's start with the story of Eric Middlebrooks. Now, 14-year-old Eric Antonio Middlebrooks moved to 345 Howell Drive with his foster parents, Robert and Evelyn Miller, in the spring of 1980. At the time of his disappearance, they say he weighed about 88 pounds and he was 4'10". His brother, older half-brother, was an officer named Kerry Middlebrooks. His biological mother, Charlene Middlebrooks, who placed Eric up for adoption at 4 months of age, lived in North Carolina and allegedly was not present for his funeral. Sadly, Eric never knew his biological father. There was also a woman named Miss Lucille Brown, who was also listed as his mother, but it is unclear who or what her relation is to Eric. Now, Eric attended Franklin D. Roosevelt High School. He sometimes swam at the Neighborhood Boys Club, and which is a location, guys, where many of the Atlanta victims attended often. Now, he was last seen answering his phone at home and then hurrying off on his bike with a hammer to fix his bike in case something had broken down on it. Now, it said that he had first borrowed a key from his foster mother to open up a tool shed in order to get to the hammer. Now, it's also important to note that in this case that, Eric had testified against 3 juveniles in a robbery case just a few weeks earlier, but police have not connected this crime to these cases. Now, sadly, on Sunday, May 18, 1980, the body of Eric Middlebrooks was found next to his bike in a rear garage of the Hope You Like It bar on 247 Flat Shoals Road, next to a former Mark Inn, which was then the Georgia Department of Offender Rehab. His pockets were turned inside out, and his chest and arms had slight stab wounds. The cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. Now, authorities considered Middlebrooks' case a pattern case in the Wayne Williams trial. But again, no solid evidence was found to link Williams to this case, and Williams continues to state his innocence to this crime to this day. Sadly, Eric's funeral was held on Saturday, May 24th at 1 p.m. at Thankful Baptist Church at 830 West College Avenue in Decatur, Georgia, with the Reverend Leon Tucker officiating. He was buried in Kennedy Memorial Gardens in Ellenwood, Georgia, in an unmarked grave, sadly. Now, let's talk about Aaron Wyche. 10-year-old Aaron Darnell Wyche was born on October 6, 1969. At the time, he was 4'10" and weighed about 55 pounds at the time of his disappearance. Aaron lived at 1065 Henry Thomas Drive Southeast, apartment 336 with his mother, Linda Wyche, and an adjacent apartment to Patrick Patman Rogers in Thomasville Heights housing. His father was Jesse Griffin. This place no longer exists, and this is a empty plot of where this location used to be. Now, Aaron Wyche was last seen at Tanner's grocery store, which is about 826, 828 McDonough Boulevard, getting into a blue and white or blue Chevy with two black men. The description of this car matched the exact description of the car that tried to pick up several children in this matter, including Jeffrey Mathis and Yusuf Bell. Some of these children even recalled the license plate number, which was registered to a car found with different plates on the same street in front of the house where Jeffrey Mathis' family reported him when they first looked for him. Now, a female witness at the time says that she saw Wyche being led from Tanner's grocery store by a 6-foot, 180-pound black male, approximately 30 years old, with a mustache and goatee. The witness greeted Aaron and acknowledged her. And, he acknowledged her and then went on as if nothing was wrong. The man and Wyche entered a blue late 1970s Chevy, where Wyche sat close to the man in the front. And the witness said that she saw the man doing something with his hands on the little boy's lap, but she couldn't determine exactly what this was. Now, police said later at around 6 p.m., he was seen at Moreland Avenue Shopping Center, which is now known as Sunshine Plaza Center on Moreland Avenue. And sadly, the body of Aaron Wyche was found under a bridge going over train tracks on Constitution Road, which is near Moreland Avenue. He was wearing a red and black striped shirt and blue cutoff pants and high tops. The official cause of death was ruled positional asphyxiation from a broken neck suffered during the fall. However, a medical examiner stated that Aaron's death, who apparently did fall from the railroad trestle, should be investigated further in light of the recent child slayings in the area and the disappearances, as well as his inability to understand how this child was able to get to the top of the bridge without the assistance of someone else who was much stronger and much taller than him. Now, Vera Griffin, who is the grandmother of little Aaron Wyche, also agrees and believes that he was murdered. And as stated, she actually stated that he would never even climb a rail on his own. He wouldn't even climb the wall in his own backyard, she said. Just absolutely heartbreaking. Now, if you or anyone you know has any information regarding these cases, you are encouraged to contact the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. You can remain anonymous. Until next time, be safe and remain alert.